Your objective is to rescue the 2 targets. Counting on you, boss. Now extract the remaining target. That's the target. Looks like we found him.
Here to save me. I was called here to transport and set up equipment at the facility.
Amazing, boss. Getting both prisoners out in that situation. Great work. Now exfiltrate. Roger. That's it. We've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. Mission complete. Great work. Boss, we placed the 2 targets in quarantine. They don't show signs of anything, but we'll monitor them just the same. If they had access to the Devil's House, I doubt they were sent there by some health organization. Cipher used them, and would have eliminated them eventually. But we'll protect them here. They've agreed to that. After all, we helped them out of the country as promised. The mission's complete. But boss, they've been behind the curtains at Ngamba. They examine the patients there nearly every day. They told us the patients were being made to listen to voices on tape. But the male target added something interesting. He said he doesn't know what was on the tapes because there was no English version. Of all the voices that were shoved down those people's throats, English wasn't one of them.
Boss, staying on the battlefield that long will have a negative impact on your health. Why not head back to Mother Base for a shower once in a while?
The boss is back. Let's go refuel and load up on artillery.
We're good to go, Chief.
What's the matter?
Stop this! Now!
What the fuck, you freak?
Give me a hand!
Hold her still. Dismissed.
Payback for how they treated her?
Doesn't explain the others. She had every chance to kill them. Tighten security on her cell. This happens a second time. There won't be a third.
about Eli. I'd heard that one product of the Les Enfants Terribles project went missing in Africa. The age would be about right. Now, I'm not saying I think it's Eli, but I want to run a genetic test all the same. Don't worry, I'll have it done without him noticing. The test may take some time, but I'll tell you as soon as we have the results. Roger.
Boss. This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Objectives are to extract the child soldier's commander and their captive, the General's #2. This child soldier platoon decided to break away from the Mbeli militants. They took the #2 captive and have occupied an abandoned village. Start by checking that location on your map. Boss, the child soldiers will treat you as an enemy, but they're just kids. See that they don't get hurt.
Be careful down there,
That's the village the boy soldiers have taken over. It was deserted. Seems they're using it as their base of operations. The targets are there. Look carefully. Conducted from high vantage points. I've marked a good spot on your map. Take a look at your iDroid. High ground. Looks perfect for reconning the village. Okay, that's the General's brother, his number 2. Get him out of there, boss. Is that him? Take a good look at their faces so we can ID the targets. There he is, the commander. Extract him. Security's pretty light. There are fewer kids around than our intel suggested. Maybe they sent some out on patrol. Anyone who could tell you the name of that village is long gone. Only a dozen or so houses in the place. Crops are nothing special. Taro and plantain. That commander is some kid. To abduct the general's right-hand man and get away clean. He's got guts for a kid his size. Or he despises adults a lot more than we realize. Soldiers? No. Must be a squad they had out on patrol. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself. unarmed soldier has entered the village. Must have been out on patrol. Looks like they had more than one patrol out. Security will be tighter now. Watch yourself. Roger.
Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Prisoner doesn't look like the target. Subject is in. Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
still just a child. About the same age as those kids at the diamond mine. They may be small. They're armed just like any other soldier. Watch yourself, boss.
Ketinge, we vitulaka mono na nima.
Roger.
Mekwenda kana muvutuka afa mono. Muke pangia General V. Muke montia nabo V. Nge mewaka yo V. Mufwaka General. Muvutidilaka yandi yina yasalaka ibuti na mono usingo na mono ya vuma usasaka usingo.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Sana yandi eke kutlap.
This is B-Quad. On station at LZ.
Kasaka para musa. Kesa ya kumu.
You've completed your objective. Now get out of the hot zone.
Gaining altitude. Departing.
Good work. All right, mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh? Boss, about how we report this one to the client. I'll tell them we took heavy resistance from the renegade platoon and the hostage was killed in the firefight. Also, their leader wouldn't let himself be taken alive. I doubt the client will pay us for this one, but we got a big enough reward from the General's number 2 instead. And as for the number 2, he's saying he wants to join Diamond Dogs. I guess he knows what that means for him. He said, if I'm working for you, I can be number 2 or number 200 for all I care.
Boss, we have an emergency. Many of our staff are falling ill. At first it seemed like a common cold, but before we knew it, blisters started popping up on their chests and... Damn it. I'll fill you in at the ACC. Just get in the chopper.
Look closely. Those are the symptoms of the infection on Mother Base. The blisters on the body were full of tiny worms. Parasite larvae, most likely. But we couldn't find any adults. It doesn't seem to mature in the body, like a spargatum. We don't know the root of infection, or what causes symptoms to develop.
Boss, do you remember seeing these symptoms before? The bodies floating around in the oil facility, the bedridden test subjects at the Devil's House. This epidemic looks just like what we've seen on our hunt for Cipher.
So this is the weapon of mass destruction Cipher was working on in Africa.
Boss, the situation is urgent. We need to quarantine the infected and contain the pathogen. Priority now is to prevent more casualties. But the problem is, how do we tell who's infected? During the incubation period, we have no way of knowing who's clean. You'll have to try and guess who's infected before they go symptomatic and quarantine them. That'd be easy if we just knew the route or vector of the infection. From now on, if you even suspect a staff member's infected, use your iDroid to order them into quarantine. Given the situation, the men won't submit to quarantine just because I or the medical team tell them to. But they will listen to you. Of course, it's just a temporary measure until we find a permanent solution. But at least they'd be in solitary isolation so they won't infect each other, and we get the mental care they need. If we do nothing, we'll only lose more people. We have no choice. Boss, open your iDroid. I'll explain how to quarantine staff members suspected of infection. Go to the Mother Base menu and select Staff Management. First, take a look at the quarantine facility we've set up. We'll isolate anyone who's already symptomatic at the quarantine facility. But we have to expect that there are multiple staff who are infected, but asymptomatic. So how do we identify them? At present, we have no way to tell them apart. But there has to be something for us to go on. If you notice anything, reassign staff you suspect are infected to the quarantine facility. We'll monitor them and then contact you if there's a change in their condition. Correctly quarantining these asymptomatic infected will reduce the number of new infections. You should continue with your missions as usual. If Cipher is behind this, going after them should help us determine the root cause of this epidemic. Also, until we identify the pathogen, we can't fire or dispatch any staff. We cannot let this thing spread. Boss, get to the bottom of this fast. We're counting on you.
job's come in. It's a hit. I'm the human trafficker who sent Shabani and the others to Nzoya Badia Bulu, where you ran into Skullface. The thing is, this guy might know something about the disease that's going around Mother Base. The symptoms are similar to the ones we saw at that factory. Start by checking the mission details on your iDroid.
There's a target on the run somewhere on the savannah. Your job is to find and eliminate him. He's a logistics officer for the PF known as Rogue Coyote. On the side, however, he colluded with the Buta regime, abducting people from Mbeli villages and supplying them as slave labor. That's right. He's a human trafficker. His victims ended up all over the place. Brothels, black market, organ trade, diamond mines. And he was the one who sent Shabani and the other kids to the Devil's House. But then an Mbeli rebel group finally added him to their hit list. The target decided it was time to quit, and now he's trying to leave the country. If he makes it back to his country, he'll be no more than a civilian, and he'll avoid facing a court-martial. Like so many other war biz junkies. I'll bet he plans on enjoying a new live finance with his blood money. The client's order is to take him out. How you go about that is up to you, boss. Is a PF logistics officer who works as a human trafficker on the side. The client wants him dead. He's currently on the run somewhere on the savannah with bodyguards. Unfortunately, we don't know what route they're taking. All we have to go on is a coded transmission sent by the PF at the Ditati abandoned village. It appears to be a workup of the target's security plans, but to decipher it, we'll need an intel file with the encryption key. This key should be at the comms facility at the Ditati abandoned village. Check your iDroid to see what the target looks like, as well as the location of the village. Find the route. Find the man.
target, the trafficker. He's a logistics officer for Rogue Coyote, but it looks like he's hired his bodyguards from one of their competitors. Why can't he trust his own men? Something doesn't add up. Abandoned village. That's where the enemy PF's coded transmission came from. There's got to be a transmitter there somewhere. It could have the intel file containing the encryption key. Look for an antenna.
Baie ouens word vermis tydens missies die afgelope tyd. Ja, ek hoor hulle word opgepik as hulle Fulton recovery toestelle gebruik. Fulton recovery? Dog hulle het opgehou met gebruik want dit was te gevaarlik. Hulle moet 'n donners gee. Maar wie gryp ouens soos daai sommer net so? Hoe moet ek weet? Wie ook al dit is, om manne soos daai te verloor is 'n helse kopseer vir die groot koppe. Blykbaar het hulle 'n teenvoeter in die pyplyn.
Sabi sa mono.
Ukanga kamono nazo. Ya badiabulu. Hina in
That prisoner you extracted was a civilian abducted by the target. He says the trafficker is trying to make contact with a human rights NGO. He hopes that by handing over his list of buyers, they'll guarantee his safety. But I don't get it. Why an NGO? Why run to someone else for help?
Where are your friends? Picked up an intel file. According to this information, the target is headed for Cipher camp. We also have his movement route. I've updated your map. Use the target's route to locate him. Eliminating him will be much harder if he makes it to the Cipher camp. Take him down on the savannah.
Help me!
Kan 'n vyandige aanval wees. Al die eenhede, wakker wees. Uit.
Speak.
A prisoner. He might have some information. If you extract him, we'll see what he knows.
Quiere go.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Er is CP, begryp. Wees versigtig. Uit. CP, dis jullie 7. Was 'n verdagte ballon gesien. Daar's moontlike inbreker. Moet ek ondersoek. Oor. Er is CP, begryp. Alle eenhede, wees paraat. Uit. CP, dit is jullie 1. Ondersoek het niks opgeleverd. Oor. Er is CP, begryp. Keer terug naar jou bos. Oor.
Okay, subject is in.
Dis jullie 10. Ons is gevallen lid. Die vijand moet daarmee is. Oor. Er is CP, begryp. Beskerm sekuriteit en vind die indringer. Uit. CP, dis jullie 7. Was 'n verdagte ballon gesien. Daar's moontlike inbreker. Moet die ondersoek. Oor. Er is CP, begryp. Dit kan 'n vyandige aanval wees. Al die eenhede, wakker wees. Uit.
That soldier works for the CFA. The targets hired them for protection. That's the target. Eliminate him, however you see fit. Target confirmed dead. Don't hang around. Buddy die, Snake. I'm pulling them out of there. Roger. That's it. You've made it out of the hot zone. No sign of the enemy. Mission complete, boss. All right. Mission complete, boss. Maybe you'll actually break a sweat next time, huh? Boss, we finally heard from one of our missing intel team members. He says he has a solid lead on the epidemic at Mother Base. Take a look at the mission details ASAP.
Boss, the intel team's hard at work investigating the cause of that illness spreading through Mother Base. Problem is, a bunch of our agents in the field are still MIA. Progress has been slow, until now. We just got a distress call from one of them. He said he's got intel on the origin of the disease. But the PF in the area got to him before we did. There's been no further contact from him, but we know he's being held at the guard post on the western end of the mine. There's still a good chance he's alive. We can't afford to let him die. Right now, he's the only link we have to the root cause of the epidemic. Get our man back, boss.
Roger.
Arriving shortly at LZ. This is B-Quad. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Boss, about Eli. No matter how many times we talk to him, he just won't listen. He sees everything in terms of victory or defeat and still won't accept that you beat him. We're gonna have to put him in his place. Again. If you don't mind, come back to Mother Base and go another round with him.
has gotten a lead on the epidemic that's crippling Mother Base. The problem is, our man has been captured by the PF in his operation area. He's being held at the guard post on the western end of the mine. Boss, we need you to get him out ASAP. Right now, he's our only link to the root cause of the epidemic. Extract him once the coast is clear. Got an emergency report from the intel team. A vehicle has fled the guard post heading northwest. The prisoner at the wheel appears to be the target. Did he escape on his own? The target is no longer at the designated position. Find that vehicle fast. Boss, did you see that explosion? There's smoke. The target's crashed his vehicle. That'll bring the enemy down on him in no time. The target's in danger. Get to the scene of the crash. Somewhere. But he's in no shape for a Fulton extraction. Can you carry him? Nice find. I'll send the chopper. Get the target to the RV.
figure out what the hell is behind this epidemic. Yes, mission complete. Boss, that was exceptional. Boss, the intel team member you extracted was DOA. He kept insisting we listen, right up until his last breath, about the pathogen, and the old man who knows how to treat it. Code talker. He even told us where he is. Boss, let's make sure his death was the last. It's high time we met this code talker. Boss, you need to make contact with Code Talker. We have to stop this disease that's spreading across Mother Base. I'm Boss, that's a serious injury. It won't heal on its own. We'll need to treat it with first aid. Roger.
Doe die onderzoek. Maar wees versigtig. Uit.
Has that rat finally accepted that he lost? Hopefully now he'll be a bit more obedient. Someone else has turned symptomatic. The staff member's been moved to quarantine, but at this rate we're going to lose everybody. Find out what's causing this and quarantine the infected.
Stop this infection.
Roger.
This is B-Quad. Arriving shortly at LZ